Hello, welcome back to Unraveled. I'm Brittany, and today we're going to be making a project with a very special yarn. Over the weekend, my son was home. He usually lives at college, but he comes home every once in a while for the weekend. And he, my husband, and my older daughter all went out of town card shopping for like Pokemon cards, magic cards, all that stuff. And I stayed home with our youngest, but my husband did bring me home a ball of yarn. So isn't it so pretty? My daughter picked it out, but my husband bought it. And this is Karen Macchiato Cakes in the color Vivid Violet. So for me, this is giving Coraline vibes. So we're gonna make a Coraline-inspired project. And the specific gloves I'm thinking of doing are the spiral fingerless gloves by Of Mars. And instead of doing like holding this with another yarn, I'm gonna pull from the inside and the outside to swirl this yarn with itself. I bought that pattern around the beginning of the year because I love it and I know I want to make it, and I still haven't made it at all. So I'm very excited to get started on at least one pair of those. If I really like them, I might make 2 pairs because this is definitely more than enough yarn. Technically, the macchiato cakes are a bulky weight, I think. Where is it? Yeah, a bulky weight, but this does not give bulky weight to me. Like, look at that. That's a worsted. I think it's just called bulky because of the halo. So it's gonna work up like a worsted. Well, there's a little bit of a problem. I opened that pattern and it actually uses 4 different skeins of a DK weight. I have 1 skein of a bulky weight that I'm using like a worsted. So that pattern is not going to directly correlate to this yarn. So I'm gonna have to freehand it kind of, but just know that these are inspired by that pattern. So I'm using the macchiato cakes, and then I'm gonna use a 4.5 millimeter hook just to make sure the gauge is nice and tight. I'm pulling from the inside and the outside of this ball. If I were smart and wanted to avoid tangling, I would just wind half of this off into a second ball, but I'm not gonna do that. We're gonna live on the edge, it's fine. I actually have a pattern for a spiral granny square, so I'm pretty much just using that. Oh my God, am I ever gonna find the center pole? Oh, we do not want that whole thing to come out. Oh my God. Okay, that's not too bad. That's fine, manageable. Stuff that back in there. Where's our outside? Okay, good. It's starting with 2 different colors. That's what I wanted. My spiral square pattern would have another round of spiraling before I actually start turning it into a square. But since this needs to fit on my hand, I feel like if I do another round before I turn it into a square, it's gonna be way too big. So after 3 rounds, we're gonna go ahead and square it up. And I have 36 stitches right now, so luckily that is very easy to turn into a square because 36 divided by 4 is 9. So every side can just have 9 stitches, very easy. Even though this should be easy to square up, it's still important to take some notes so that every square is exactly the same. And for some reason, when I make patterns, I really like to draw the stitches out, not really in a way that would make sense to anyone else, but in a way that would make sense to me. So since I know I need 9 stitches on each side, these are gonna turn into the corners. So I know those are gonna be double crochets. So these are gonna be double crochets. These are gonna be half doubles. And then, I don't know if I wanna do 3 singles or a single. That'll definitely be a single. Does that wanna be a single or a half double? We will see as we're crocheting. Okay, it wants to be a single. All right, we're 1 square down, 3 to go. I'm gonna have a little snacky snack, and I'll meet you back here when I have all 4 squares. Some of these are definitely more spiraled than the others, but that's okay because these 2 will be at the top of my hand and these 2 will be like the palm. All right, I have this one sewn together. Probably not the best one with my bracelets and my watch, but it fits perfectly. Now we just need to add some height right here and some ribbing to the wrist. I'm not sure if I actually want to make a thumb. So the pattern from Of Mars that I'm inspired by has a thumb. but I'm not sure that I actually want one. So we'll see. First, I'm going to sew these two together though, so I can have all the sewing out of the way and just do the fun part, the crocheting. Now that I have a good chunk of these done, they are barely using any of this yarn at all. Like, it's almost exactly the same size. This is the first mitten and I still have the ribbing and stuff to do, but what do I want to make with the rest of this? One of my goals this year is to make 50 donation hats before the end of the year and then donate them locally. So I could make some hats with it, but I kind of want to make some different things with it. I'm not entirely sure. I kind of wish I had 2 balls of it. It's like I have more than what I need for small projects, but not quite enough for a larger project, because I'd love to make a big hooded scarf with this. Maybe someday I can always get more. The yarn also really reminds me of Coraline, so I would like to make more Coraline-inspired projects. These mittens, or fingerless gloves, whatever, are kind of Coraline-y because of the swirl. Like, swirl plus the colors gives me Coraline vibes, but would also kind of like to make a more over-the-top, easy to notice that it's Coraline themed project. So if you have any ideas along those lines, let me know for sure. Cheddar is overseeing. Cheddar! Hi, Cheddar. This one has all its ends woven in. This one just needs a little love, and then they're finished. Here they are. Look at them. They're so cute. So these are the more spirally sides that are on the top. And then if I ever wanted to wear them a little less spirally, I don't know why I would, I could just swap them around. So I have to take off all my stuff to try them on. Let's see. Okay, this side goes here. This side goes here. Here they are. They're so cute. I love them. They're actually super warm too. I think this yarn is acrylic and wool blend, so very cozy. That's it for today. Let me know if you like this project vlog style video. I still have a ton of this left to do more projects with. And look, I didn't even get it tangled. It's a win. Also, do you think they're giving Coraline or are they giving Galaxy? Because I can see both. I don't know. I feel like maybe they need a little something extra to be very Coraline, like in your face Coraline. But maybe right now it's if you know Coraline, you know?